Hi, I'm Melanie, and there's Noor.
Hello.
And so today we have the Plasfill team here with us to get to know more about the team's mission, their goals, and everything. So basically, Plasfill started out as your final year project as civil engineering students at the American University of Beirut. Could you please introduce yourselves, introduce the team so we can get started?
So basically, we have Judy as our CTO, we have Yara as our CFO, and we have Hani as our CSO, and me as the CEO. And we also have one more friend, but currently he's not here.
Okay, we're really honored to have you all with us. So first, could you briefly describe your project?
Uh, Basically, what we're doing is that we're taking a bunch of those waste that is like overly abundant in Lebanon. We're taking it in and we're transforming it into a material that can replace asphalt basically in road maintenance.
So the fact that you created some sort of solution to two really challenging problems in Lebanon, that's really amazing. How did it start? How did you get the idea?
As our final year project. So we were asked to have a new idea in order to develop it during our final year project. And then we started looking at the aspects that we have in Lebanon. We started looking at the road conditions in Lebanon, and at the same time the overabundance of waste. And then we just thought about having a new material that could replace asphalt in road maintenance, and we can use it to cover up potholes and misleveled manholes.
It started from there, and then we entered into the FYP Accelerator at AUB. That was where we started understanding what a startup is, how they start, and so on. And that's where everything winds up.
That's really great. So, what were some of the challenges you faced while developing and implementing your project?
First, it was the situation of the country, the political situation, and around October, November that held us back from accessing the lab at the UB, since we had to do a lot of tests to validate our product, our new material that we created, and us not having the access to the AUB labs meant us not having all the required tests we needed to have to validate it. And so we kind of faced a lot of issues trying to get access. And then once we did, came the coronavirus. So eventually we also had another obstacle accessing labs and even reaching out to people in AUB, because a lot of professors also left the country, for example, or have other personal businesses that have been, disrupted. So not everyone was readily available to help us out. When it comes to our work, we tried to hustle as much as we could. And I feel like we did well, despite the circumstances, and we tried to go to market, and we're still trying to do that now. And I feel like we're kind of establishing our presence in the market right now.
While the revolution was happening, I remember maybe we were actually doing samples or so. I remember working on something. I vaguely remember we were doing something while the revolution was happening, and whenever they would do anything like burn any kind of waste or whatever, we would be like, they are doing what is bad, or I don't know what was the saying, but I remember us talking about it. Like we were working while they're doing the revolution. We're trying to do something we felt like we needed to be in the revolution, but we needed to do our startup. So it was very confusing.
We had one idea whenever they're closing roads or whatever. We had an idea to go to the roads and do our samples there or close a pothole there, but we didn't do it.
You should
have. It was very confusing. You wanted to be there for your country, but you also want to be there for your startup.
Yeah, honestly, it's quite contradictory, but it's really great that you were able to achieve all of this with everything that was going on. I mean, it wasn't easy. It couldn't have been.
It was a challenging year, but however, we really worked hard in order, because we had a goal we wanted to achieve. We wanted to achieve it. And we wanted to build our own startup. So it was very challenging, but at the same time, when we look at what we did like so far, it's very satisfying.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And
It was
like taking an
easy.
idea as an FYP project to a whole new level and seeing how the business world works.
Exactly. Yeah, definitely. It's every senior student's dream to launch their own startup right after graduation. And you guys did that. And that's really amazing. And
Yeah. It wasn't easy. Like the journey wasn't always, very perfect and peaceful. But I feel like it's because we motivate each other as a team, because we have that foundation of us being friends and having that friendship, that bond. We kind of were very honest with one another. So whenever one was feeling down or demotivated, we used to lift each other up. And we also
always
have a
the
very
back of
strong
each other.
network. Yeah, we also have a very, very strong network of experts who also cheer us on from the Hult team and from AB competitions. So yeah, I feel like this motivated us to be wherever we are right now.
That's really encouraging to hear how together you were able to overcome this despite the situation and everything. So you guys describe your product as being eco-conscious. Could you please elaborate?
So basically our product is made up, it's a mix of waste. And so all of our product comes from waste. So we're not producing any new product. And in terms of it being eco-conscious, even when you're fixing a pothole using our products, you would go for an 88% cut down in carbon dioxide emissions. So it's not only in the product itself, but also in the application of our product, you would also be more eco-friendly and eco-conscious.
that's basically like hitting two birds with one stone. We
Yeah.
could really use the Lebanon. Anyway, now we've seen that each of the Bawerta, Ajaltoon, and AUB lower grade plot holes were treated under different conditions. So can you tell us more about how these conditions they affect the resistance of the Plasfill products on potholes?
For the first one ever that we did, it was at the AUB lower gate. It was right after a rainstorm, so the ground was filled with water, and it was a really cold weather. So that was our first test. Like, does our material work when there is huge amounts of water? And it actually worked out great. You can still see it, it's there. And right after it finished, like seconds after it finished, we had a huge truck move over it. And it was great. It didn't crack, it didn't do anything. So it was great. The second one we did in Ajaltoon, it was it's a bigger actually pothole. And it was on a roundabout and on kind of a highway. So we had to do it right, or else cars will just crash. And that's not something that you want.
Yeah,
So,
that's stressful.
so we did it. It's actually, of course, no deaths have been done out of that. Yeah. And it is working quite well. And the third one was the last one in Bawerta. It was done after we did some kind of improvement to our mix, and it's right there. It was done when it was a really, really hot weather. It was really hot, and we needed to test whether our product works in really high temperatures. And it actually worked out. It's still also there. So whenever you want, you can just see it. So there were 3 different circumstances for us to test our product.
And it has, yeah, it's not easy, especially during rainfall. I mean, we've all seen what happens in Beirut during heavy rain seasons with the flooding.
The first truck, like actual truck with actual load, like moving over your product, and it works, and it didn't flip out or something. You feel like, yeah, I did something.
That's really amazing. So you know about the situation in Lebanon, like the economic crisis and everything that's happening. We wanted to ask you if your product is giving some sort of alternate solutions, such as, for example, cost-cutting ones.
Basically, how the government operations work is prioritizing the cost. So our product, on top of being eco-friendly, being green, being respectful of the environment, it is also not only time efficient, but cost efficient. And it being cost efficient means that we have a leverage over governments. So whenever we present our proposals, I feel like it gets prioritized because of its the cost that we're offering. And so that could be that to them and is a very interesting alternative to asphalt, and that's what makes them move from the traditional methods of how they usually repair potholes to the method that we're offering.
That's very needed, actually, especially with the dollar rate skyrocketing and fluctuating every day and the worsening economic situation. So
now they kind of also encourage, local produce. So that's what you're offering as well. And obviously, eventually, we're trying to expand to the UAE region, and all of the governmental organizations work in the same way, and so we'll also be having that leverage to offer them as well.
Good. That's really, really good for you guys. Now, an obvious question: the Beirut blast. We've all been affected. We've all felt it. Now, how did you, as the Plasfill group, contribute after the blast?
After the blast, we actually felt like, especially as a Lebanese startup, the whole reason of startup is because a bunch of people put their heads together and they found that they want to contribute back to their society. They have an idea that can help people out. And with our idea in particular, we felt like we are in the end of everything. We are a construction company, a construction material company, and we can help out. So what we did is we reached out to a certain organization. It was working on doing a guide that includes all different companies and startups and associations or whatever that can help out. And it was done like in an official way. It's called BRRG, the Beirut Recovery Resource Guide. And we were chosen to be part of it. And when we were helping out our community through it.
You guys did an amazing job. I'm really impressed. So one last question for you, which is the obvious question. Considering the current situation here and the pandemic, do you have any future plans?
Concerning the pandemic, actually, it kind of works in our benefit. So because of the pandemic, people can't actually import something from outside their country. They need everything to be as much as possible local in order not to get the disease into their hometown or whatever. So our product is basically waste. That is found everywhere. You can find waste literally in your house. So it is a product that you can find locally. Asphalt, sometimes you need to import it. Sometimes you need to get it from a different contractor or whatever. So it can help out in terms of allowing you to fix your roads whenever you want. Plus, the cost is really much cheaper than whatever traditional way anyone is using. So if your finances have been declining because of Corona, you will still be able to fix your roads because it is much cheaper. So Plasfill is much cheaper. So we are providing a benefit in terms of that.
One more thing I would like to add. We didn't talk about it, but I would like to mention it. We are currently part of the Hult International competition. And as a future plan, we're going on February, I guess, in February or March to the UK in order to compete for the $1 million as a funding for our startup.
That is such a great project. I'm really amazed. Like something so simple that can do so much. Thank you guys for your time. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for your time and thank you for reaching out to us. I guess it's an amazing initiative what you and Dr. Elisar are trying to do.
And thank you for this whole initiative. It's very important what you're trying to do, the awareness that you're trying to give out. It's very important. So thank you.
Thank you. Hopefully, with the platform that we're providing and we're creating, more people will get to know more about Plasfill and the project and the team and reach out to you guys. And also, hopefully, the Hult project and your expansion to the MENA region will work out for you guys, because honestly, it's such a basic idea, yet it's so amazing and has a lot of potential to change the way we treat potholes and road constructions in Lebanon, as well as in many countries, I'm sure. Thank you guys, really. It was really fun having you guys, and hopefully we'll talk soon.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.